Okay, all right, so let's talk about this lab. We are doing the colligative properties, boiling point elevation of water, okay? So purpose to study the effect of concentration, the effect that concentration has on the boiling point of a solution. What's concentration? Do you know? Oh, not quite. Right? That's like condensation going from a gas to a liquid. Concentration's like this. Okay? If I have these two beakers and I have a beaker that looks like this, it's got stuff dissolved in it, and it's dissolved about that much in it. And this beaker has the same stuff dissolved in it, but it's got about that much dissolved in it. Which one is more concentrated? Yes, this one is more concentrated, right? How can you tell? There's more stuff in it. There's more stuff dissolved in it. That's what we mean by concentration, the amount of stuff you have dissolved in it, right? So if you're thinking hot chocolate packets, you know when you get the water and you pour your hot chocolate in and you do not get enough and it tastes disgusting? That is not very concentrated. It's dilute. So you add another packet and you make it more concentrated. You have more stuff, okay? So if we look at this purpose, we want to see the effect that adding more stuff to it has on the boiling point of a solution. Okay? Any guesses how we're going to measure the boiling point? We're going to boil it, and we're going to stick a thermometer in it. Okay. Well, fancy. All right, and then how can you tell if it's boiling? Oh, so first thing we can see with our eyes, we see the bubbles, right? Here's my bubbles. Oh, you think I can't draw?
It's just eyes.
You're watching it boil. But here's the thing. If it's bubbling, does that necessarily mean it's boiling? No. How can we tell? When is it boiling?
Temperature is like plateau.
Yeah, we remember that when the temperature plateaus, that's when it's boiling, right? So if the temperature's still rising, we know our molecules are moving faster and we haven't quite hit the boiling point yet. It's as soon as that temperature plateaus that we've seen the boiling point, okay? So we're going to dissolve a little bit in to start. We're going to heat it up. We're going to see where it plateaus, and we're going to record that boiling point. Then we're going to add more stuff into it. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to heat it up, and then we're going to see where it plateaus, and we're going to record that boiling point. Okay? And we want to see what effect adding more stuff to it has on the boiling point. Sound good? Okay, let's take a look at the procedure. So step number 1, you're going to weigh out 4 3-gram samples of NaCl and place each in a clean, dry test tube. Will you please underline 4? You're going to have 4 different samples of sodium chloride, just table salt. Okay? Then you're going to place them in a clean. Will you circle dry? It is more important that they are dry than that they are clean. That might be helpful. No problem. Okay. And then we're good. And then it doesn't say this. Did I give you my notes?
Yes.
Let's try this again. Okay. Then we're going to stand each of those test tubes in a beaker. Okay, so you've got 4 test tubes, and you're just going to stand them up in a beaker. Okay? You've got 3 grams of salt in each one, and we're ready to go. Okay? Then you're going to place about 150 milliliters of water into a medium beaker. So you're going to grab a medium beaker. You're going to fill it up so it's got 150 milliliters of water, and then you're going to add 2 boiling chips. Will you underline boiling chips? Boiling chips are new to us. We haven't used boiling chips. What they are is they're just little pieces of marble, okay? They're little chips of marble. And what it does is you're just going to put it into the bottom, and it makes it so that we have a more controlled boil. You know how sometimes when you boil it, it starts to bubble and splatter all over the place? The boiling chips gives it a place for the bubbles to start, and it helps it be more controlled, which we want. We want it to be more controlled this time. All right, then you're going to set up your ring stand so the hottest part of the flame is directly beneath the wire gauze. Here's my wire gauze, here's my flame. Right? And we're going to get it going. Good? Okay, when it's set up, heat the water to boiling. So you're going to heat it, you're going to get it to boiling. Again, how can you tell when it's for sure boiling? When it plateaus, right? So as soon as it's constant for about 2 minutes, like it says, record the temperature when it is constant for 2 minutes. Okay? That's when we've got our boiling point. All right? Now it gives us a reminder about the thermometer, right? Remember to support your thermometer so the bulb is submerged but not touching the bottom. We're going to set this up so that thermometer comes right in, right about there, right? It's right in the middle, not touching the bottom, but it's not toward the top so that it feels the air. It's inside the water all the way. Good? Question?
Are we timing it the whole time, or when do we start at 2-minute time?
So as soon as it starts to boil, as soon as it starts to remain constant, that's when you want to go for 2 minutes. You want it to be constant for 2 minutes. Okay? Good. Great question. Are we good? Okay. I'm sorry? No, you don't have to time how long it takes to get to boiling. Just time it at boiling. Okay? If it stays constant for about 2 minutes, you found that boiling point. Good. Okay, then we're ready for step 5. Oh, sorry. We want to record that. Guys, that's trial 1, right? Down there, that's where you would record that temperature that you've got. Good? Yeah, after step 4, you'd record what temperature you have. Okay, then we're ready for step 5. Are you with me? Okay, so we'll turn off the burner. You're going to add any water that was lost, right? So when it boils, you know the water goes down, right? So you're going to grab another beaker and you're going to fill it back up to 150. Okay? Then you're going to carefully and slowly add one of the test tubes of salt in. Okay? We're going to add 1 test tube in. So we just added 3 grams, right? Then you're going to stir it so it dissolves. Don't stir with your thermometer. Grab a stirring rod and stir it so it dissolves. And we're going to start again. We're going to repeat steps 4 through 7. Okay? So we're going to turn the heat on. We're going to watch for it to start to boil, right? As soon as the temperature looks like it's remaining constant, we're going to watch it for 2 more minutes to make sure that it is really at the boiling point. And then once it's been constant for 2 minutes, we're going to record that under trial 2. Good? Okay. Then we're ready for the next one, trial 3. Notice how many grams does it say we have in the data chart? 6 grams. Does that mean that I'm adding 2? No, I already have 3 grams added, so I'm just going to take 1 and add it in, okay? Then I'm going to stir it, right? I'm going to make sure I've replaced the water, and then I'm going to boil it again, okay? I'm going to watch for that temperature to remain constant, find that boiling point, and I'm going to record the temperature of the boiling point under trial 3. Are we good? So we repeat that until we've added each of the test tubes for the salt. Question?
Are we recording it on this paper?
You can record it on this paper, right? And you just write it in on there. Good. All right, we feeling good with that? Okay. Then once you're done, you've done all 5 trials, then we're ready for step 9. We're ready to clean up. So to clean up, pour as much of the water down the drain as you can, and then pour the remaining water and the boiling chips into the beaker in the front of the room. Please do not pour the boiling chips down the sink. Not good to pour rocks down the sink, all right? So you're going to pour off the water and then get the boiling chips into the front. Dry everything off, clean off your table, and then we're set. Good? Okay, will you guys turn it to the back? Let's take a look at what you've got to do to finish this up, okay? So calculations. You're going to create an XY line graph representing the relationship between the mass of the salt added and the boiling temperature of the water. Begin your temperature scale at 90 degrees Celsius. Okay, what should be on our x-axis and what should be on our y-axis of this graph?
The y already gives us that it has to start at 90.
Yeah, it tells us the y has to start at 90. But am I going to do that temperature across this x-axis or across this y-axis? The y-axis, right? This is my dependent variable. So I'm going to label it temperature and then degrees Celsius. And what's going to go down here on the bottom on the x-axis? Salt. This is going to be my grams of salt. Okay? Then you're going to spread it out for each of the samples, right? And I'm going to start this one at 90 degrees and then move its way up for temperature. Okay? Your graphs looked awesome for the salt and sand lab. They were big. They filled the whole graph paper. They were clear and easy to see. They had titles when I was checking and going through and stamping them. Do that again. Quality work on it, okay? Any questions on the graph that you need to do? All right, then you'll just answer the conclusion questions. You do not have to type them this time. You can answer on this paper. I know Miss Harward was like, do they have to type it? I'm like, yes, I know that feels random because this is the first time we've had them do that, but we do type it up on that one. Here you can just write it out, all right? Again, make sure that you answer the questions, right? So it says, explain on a molecular level why you believe the addition of a solute causes the boiling point of a solvent to increase. Okay, so you're answering why on that, and then remember what you already know about intermolecular forces and boiling. So there's three things you got to cover, right? Intermolecular forces, boiling, and why it probably causes it to increase. You're going to be using your therefores, right? This, therefore, that. We good? Any questions? Okay. Goggles on. Let's do this.